I think we're live. I think we're live. New look, guys. New look. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We're rocking the new look today. You know, a little bit inspired by the El Clasico win. We're feeling a little bit different. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah. We're rocking something a little bit different today. Something to just celebrate the El Clasico win a little bit. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling it? I hope y'all are doing good in chat. FGH, always a regular in the chat. I think today is going to be an interesting game. AC Milan versus Atalanta, or Atalanta versus AC Milan, however you want to, go about describing it. But as I said, I think today is going to be an interesting game. I'm feeling a little bit excited, a little bit different. It's raining at my side, not really the best, but we'll take it. We'll take it. It's not too much of a hindrance, we'll take it. Understandable. Weather is a little bit dodgy, but we'll take it. We have a live subscriber count today, actually, to let y'all know. We need that support, man. We be needing that support. We be needing that support from y'all. So yeah, appreciate all the new subscribers. We've been getting some new subscribers. We've been getting some new support, and I do appreciate it. It's been great. It's been a lovely journey. It's been a lovely journey, and I'm loving the journey. So yeah. Hope y'all are doing good. I want to give you guys some team news actually before we do get into that game. That's a little bit of team news. Go. There's a little bit of team news, before we jump into the game. The players are coming onto the field in 5 minutes. Atalanta's top goal scorer is injured. Yeah, now it's a bit grim for them in that regard. Top goal scorer is injured. I feel like it might be a little bit of a concern for them, but I think they'll be able to cope. Ademola Lookman is a player I haven't heard a lot of this season, which is a bit of a downer, because he was Atalanta's best player for a while, like 2 seasons. And then all of a sudden, it's just gone downhill for him. I don't know why. Juventus manager as well, he's gone. So that's a thing, kind of not expected, to be honest. Not expected, but I mean, he wasn't doing well, so it was kind of inevitable that he was gonna get sacked. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of who the next manager is going to be. I heard someone saying Xavi, Barcelona Xavi, from a conversation I had earlier in the week. Xavi, I think Xavi would be good. Juventus have a lot of young players. I think Xavi would be able to get them to a stable position in the league. I don't know if you'll be able to win the Serie A. Barcelona and Juventus, in terms of player quality, it's not the same, but you never know. Anything could happen. But as we get into the match, let's have a look at the lineup for both teams. So on your screen now, we have Atalanta at the moment. They are going with Charles De Ketelaere up top with Ademola Lookman. It's a front two with Pasalic in the middle of the, behind those two strikers. Left back, it's a 3-4-3, a 3-4-1-2 actually, not a 3-4-3, because it's two strikers up top. Darun Ederson in the middle with Zappa Costa, and then Hein, Ahanor, and Kasunu from Leverkusen. I didn't know Kasunu was here. So yeah, pretty interesting. Over in AC Milan, we have almost similar formation. Jimenez, Leao up top, Bartoszewski, but I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. Modric, Ricci, Fofana in the midfield with Salamancas, Tomori, Gabbia, Pavlovic, and Mike Magnan, the captain, in goal as well. And I hope you guys can hear the rain. And if you can, my apologies for that. My apologies, because it has started to rain here. But I think it's going to be an interesting match. I wanted to have another look at AC Milan this season in the Serie A, because I think the match we watched, they were a little bit underwhelming, especially up against a Juventus side that I was thinking they were going to, I didn't know how bad Juventus were playing going into that match. Granted, I think now that I've seen Juventus play, I've realized that they're not that good. You know what I'm saying? They're not that good. So I think, in hindsight, I think AC Milan should have done better in that match. But yeah, and they drew against it's a Pizza or Pisa. They drew against them in the league, and it's a bit of a disappointing result. I think coming up against a team like that, you'd be expecting to get 3 points. You'd be expecting to do something, and to get a draw in that game, you would be disappointed if you are the AC Milan manager. So I think they would want to improve. Definitely going into this game, I think they would definitely want to improve, and they would definitely want to do something better, because I don't think they'd be happy with that result as well. But Luka Modric, as usual, baller of a player. He is still playing very well for AC Milan. I think he got the assist for the equalizer, because they were losing. Believe it or not, AC Milan were losing in that match against Pisa. So Modric has been very, very crucial for them this season. And I think he is going to be crucial today as well. I mean, he's such a class player, so he's definitely going to always be crucial. But before we get into the game, we're literally about to start. I don't think my timer is ready. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Give me a second, boys and girls. My lord. My timer wasn't ready. Almost screwed that over. Almost screwed that. All right. Almost threw that in the bin. My timer. But yeah, let me know what you guys are, what you guys are thinking. First of all, about the new look. It's a new look. We're rocking a new look. We're going to be trying some new stuff as the, football season goes. But today's look is inspired by Jude Bellingham and Real Madrid as we begin the game. Interesting match, I think, today. Players I have my eye on, I would say, looking at both teams, obviously Luka Modric, but I'm trying to look for young players that I can, potentially scout. I want to watch episode. I don't even know what we're going to do an episode on this week, but definitely, I should probably have one by now, because we're 3 days left to a wants to watch episode. So I should definitely have that on my radar. But yeah, we'll be looking forward to that. I'll definitely fire the player, but I haven't found a really young, exciting player at the moment. I'm looking at, I'm not going to spoil it. But yeah, slow start to the game for Atalanta. They are at home. And I didn't even mention the league table. Let's have a look at the league table. Where are Atalanta and AC Milan in the league table? So Atalanta are 7th. A win today takes them into top 4. So a big match for them. And a win today for AC Milan takes them to top of the league. So it's a big match. It's a bit of a big match for both teams. FGH is loving the new look. Hey, appreciate the support, man. I appreciate the support. Make sure, if you are new to the channel, that you do hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. It's crazy, it's a bit crazy. But I think it's doable. I do. It's a short period of time. I'm trying to hit it before the year ends. If we don't hit it, ain't nothing wrong with that. But if we do hit it, it would be spectacular. And I know y'all are, fans of the spectacular. So I would appreciate any support. And, as well, we do some really great content. Lovely play from AC Milan here. A bit of a 1-2 pass between Rafael Leao and Fofana, I think. But Leao couldn't receive the extra pass from Fofana. I think he didn't know where Leao was going. Salamanca, what a good ball to get into the 18-yard box. Milan are starting a bit aggressively here. A tad bit aggressively. Lovely 1-2 between Rafael Leao and Fofana, but Fofana kind of, I don't know if the word is overestimates or underestimates the run of Rafael Leao, and gives away a bad pass. Leao is one of those players I feel like hasn't hit his true potential. I feel like lovely shot from AC Milan. Who was that? What a goal from AC Milan and an early start to the game here. Beautiful strike from a corner. It was Richie. Wow. What a way to begin the stream here. A banger. We witnessed some bangers in streams today. Not yesterday, 2 days ago with Scott McTominay. Corner comes into the box. Bad clearance from Atalanta. It's a deflection off of Ederson. But a good hit nonetheless. Deflection, yes, but it was a good hit. Lovely hit. Carnesecchi was anticipating the ball going down, and the deflection does catch him off. But it was a good strike. A good strike from Richie. And an early goal. First 5 minutes. First 5 minutes goal for Atalanta. Let's get our stats up, actually. We should be having our stats ready. It does take a while on FootMob for the stats to load in. It does do that. So let's have I think we've got our stats now. Yeah, I think we got it. Let me just do that. All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to move it down a little bit because it might be interfering with the road to. Okay. Oh yeah, the social stuff. All right. Let's just get it down a little bit. Just a tad bit. Actually, take it off. I'm talking to myself here. Atalanta trying to get that equalizer here to throw in for them in a dangerous position. But I think that goal from AC Milan gives Massimiliano Allegri a little bit of breathing room, It's a tough, going away from home with an opportunity to go top of the league. It's always tough. So to get an early goal in a match like this will relieve some pressure off of the Milan players and the Milan manager. We have our stats on screen. It's still a little bit early to be talking stats here, but we do have them if we need to do that. Corner for Atalanta. Can they get an equalizer here? Can we get 2 goals in the first 10 minutes of this game? Lovely cross into the box. And there is a connection from an Atalanta player, but there is no direction with that connection. Beautiful cross into the box. You probably would expect, the player who gets his head on it to be doing a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Just a tad bit better. Pass now from the back from Atalanta here. If you guys have any questions in chat and you want to, inquire, I want to get some answers to some questions in chat, please do not hesitate to ask said questions. Atalanta probing forward ever so slightly. It's a foul here. I don't know. I haven't watched Atalanta this season, so I don't know who their dangerous players are, I don't know who's out there causing damage for Atalanta this season. I think the striker was a striker who came in from Lecce, I believe. He came in from Lecce, and I think he was doing good. But he's injured, so I don't know who's going to be the danger man for Atalanta. Whereas Milan have Rafael Leao, they have Jimenez, Modric is also in there, and as we've bore witness to, they've put the ball in the back of the nets. Ball in from a free kick for Atalanta, not the best delivery, not the best delivery out there. Oh, harsh tackle, edge of the 18-yard box, and it might be our first yellow of the game. Wow, very early yellow for Milan on Jimenez. It is for Jimenez. What's your thoughts on Liverpool so far? Liverpool is a subject I was thinking I could make a video on, but we could talk about them a little bit here. I don't really know what exactly is the issue with Liverpool Football Club at the moment. Some might say they haven't invested in the right positions in terms of, they've bought players that they don't really need, hence Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz. They've bought players that they don't really need and neglected positions that they need. DM, the defender, good cross into the box from Atalanta. It's a good clearance from AC Milan here. They could hit on the counter if they're quick enough. I just realized both players I've put on my thumbnail aren't playing this match. Pulisic and the Atalanta striker. I've clickbaited y'all. I know, I'm joking. But yeah, the counterattack for AC Milan was bad. It was a bad movement. But Modric, good pass. Trying to spark something here, but it's a pass back to the defense. But as I was saying with Liverpool, I think people have said, give me a second, guys. Second, give me a second to sort some stuff out. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Hopefully, I don't miss an attack. Atalanta on the attack here. Lookman, good shot, blocked. I'll be back real quick. We're back. We are back. Apologies for the absence. Yes. What was I even talking about before I left? Liverpool. Yes. I think the problem with Liverpool, nothing happened as I left, thankfully, and hopefully we didn't miss anything major. But as I was saying with Liverpool, some people have said, Liverpool, they kind of spent in the areas that didn't matter. You know, Isak, Verts, and they spent big in those areas. I mean, Isak was what, 100 and something, 130, 140 million. You know, Isak cost a lot of money, and to spend that amount of money on a player like Isak and neglect positions such as center back, defensive mid, you know, even replacements for Mohamed Salah, it kind of felt to some people a little bit naive for from Liverpool, especially when they won the title. And I've said this with teams like Arsenal. I I said Arsenal, I think, have had one of the best transfer windows, maybe next to Manchester United, because of how good Mbemo and Cunha are to that team, and you know, based on where they were last season, how good those two have been for them this season. So I think when you look at teams like Arsenal, who have basically, you know, created a second team that is almost as good as the first team on their bench, you know, they can literally have a sub for every single position on the field, I believe, for Arsenal. And you look at that and look at Liverpool, and you're like, you know, where was the thought process with that? You know, buying, spending big amounts of money on Isak and Vert and neglecting the other positions. But I think also as well, there's been a lot of change in Liverpool. I think I said this in the a good opportunity for Atalanta here. This could be a free kick. It's not. The referee doesn't give a free kick. It was an opportunity for, I think, the Ketelera or Pasalic to play the ball in behind for Lookman to run onto, but he doesn't do that. But yeah, as I was saying with Liverpool, I think there has been a lot of change in Liverpool in the sense, I mean, you know, the tragic event of, you know, Diego Jota's death, Trent going, you know, Nunez going, Diaz going. I think Luis Diaz was very important for Liverpool last season. I think I mentioned this in one of my Liverpool versus, I think it was Liverpool versus Chelsea video. I think it was one of those, Liverpool versus Chelsea or Liverpool versus Arsenal, one of those videos. I mentioned that, and you know, I mentioned how important players like Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez were to the press in Liverpool. And I think there's been a lot of change going on in Liverpool. And Trent, you know, as much as Liverpool fans say Trent wasn't good defensively, he was very good going forward. You know, when it came to the build-up play and transition of Liverpool, he was very, very important. So I think it has been a lot of change at Liverpool that has caused, you know, this whole, you know, them not playing good and stuff like that. I think that has been the case. But I mean, I don't know if, you know, the changes are that big to cause, you know, this much upheaval in the Liverpool side. I don't know. AC Milan on the attack here, but a good tackle from the Atalanta defender, and AC Milan get a corner. So yeah, I think with Liverpool, it's very difficult to put your finger on it. You know what the issue is in the club. I think it really is difficult because you can attribute it to a whole lot of things. I do think that they should have spent a little bit better in the transfer window in terms of getting more squad depth. I think they could have gotten Gehi earlier in the transfer window, you know, instead of chasing Isak for as long as they did. I think if they went in for a player like Gehi earlier in the transfer window, they would have probably got him. If they went for a player like, I mean, who else? A defensive midfielder. I think Adam Wharton. If they went for an Adam Wharton, you know, they probably would have gotten him for cheaper. I don't think they needed Florian Wirtz. You know, I don't really think they needed Florian Wirtz. But then again, you know, maybe it's just the players haven't settled in. But also, I don't think if Florian Wirtz and Isak do settle in, I don't think they're going to make a major difference to the Liverpool team. I don't know. I've also heard people having a conversation that Arne Slot is just not a good manager. You know, they're like, it's as simple as Arne Slot is just not a good manager. So, you know, I think I mentioned that as well in my video on Liverpool. You should check that out. You should check that out if you haven't. So, those are my theories on why Liverpool are playing so bad this season. Bad pass from the Atalanta goalkeeper here. Rafael Leao has the ball on the edge of the box here. Fofana, Salamancas. 1-2 pass. They're probing. AC Milan comfortable on the ball here. Mainly because they have a 1-goal advantage. Bad loss of possession here. Atalanta defender. Hey, you don't want to lose the ball in that position. Already a goal down. Atalanta, they're finding it difficult to hold on to the ball here. And so are AC Milan. Atalanta finding it difficult to hold on to the ball. AC Milan finding it difficult to hold on to the ball. Both teams just throwing possession away. Is that a sub I see? I think Atalanta, sorry, might be making a sub here in the 18th minute of the game. I mean, it's gonna have to. I think it's gonna have to be a tactical sub, because I think the manager has realized. Yeah, it's a sub for Atalanta in the first 19 minutes. Matthias de Roon has been taken off in the first 19 minutes of the game. It must be disappointing for him, and I don't think it's an injury sub because he looks fit. I think it's a tactical sub. Yeah, I think the game plan he had coming into the game has been thrown right into the gutter, and he's had to make a tactical sub. Hey, it's always good to admit when you're wrong, And I think the Atalanta manager has noticed, oh my goodness, this number 4 for Atalanta, he's a bit shaky on the ball, almost gave away possession in the 18-yard box, but Jimenez hounding him down for the ball. Atalanta again. They're bad with possession, Atalanta. Very bad with possession. They're not doing themselves any favors here. Losing the ball again. Good. Not the best clearance from Magnan. Atalanta in a good position. Lookman. No, not Lookman. Ederson, if he can turn. It's a good shot, but should have added a little bit more power on it. Both teams are, kind of giving away possession here. Atalanta not being the best with possession, and AC Milan, when they do have a touch on the ball, it seems like both teams are rushing to get into the final third, into both final thirds. It was a good opportunity for Ederson there. He probably should have taken that shot better. Edge of the 18-yard box, completely unmarked. Probably should have taken that better. But it's better signs for Atalanta here. I think they started the game pretty bad, but as we're approaching, we're getting further into the first half. They have done a little bit better in terms of going forward. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you do enjoy this content and this tickles your fancy, and you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Support the channel. We're on a road to 1,000 subscribers. It's a lot. I know it's a lot, but I believe it's doable. I do believe it's doable. And I appreciate all the support so far, I do appreciate all the support. And with more support, we can do more content, We can. Atalanta building up slowly here. Ederson, another player that has kind of also gone down in the limelights. Ederson, the Brazilian midfielder for Atalanta. I think there was a season, the season after Atalanta won the Europa League. Him and Lookman were definitely two of the best players in that team. And they were eyed by a lot of teams in Europe. But I think as the seasons have gone by, both players have just fallen down the cliff. Oh wow, good cross into the box, but can't really get on the end of that. Cannot really get on the end of that. Let's have a look at the statistics in the first 20 minutes of the game. Atalanta dominates in possession, for my criticism of them not holding on to the ball a lot or not passing the ball well, they have dominated possession, Atalanta. They have the better XG. And, looking at the stats, you would think Atalanta are the better team. And I think they have grown into the game as things have gone by. I think they've slowly grown into the game. So, the stats may not be lying, They may not be lying, but they may not be telling the entire story. I think AC Milan started the game very well. As you can see on the scoreline, it's 1-0. And, Atalanta have gone into the game. Ederson here, edge of the 18-yard box. He is not probing forward. He's going backwards. Lookman. Let's see what he can do here. Lovely twisting and turning, but number 19 for AC Milan is not letting him go by. Oh, Salamancas. Lovely feet here. Wow. Under hits the pass to Rafael Leao. He does very well to get in that position. Salamancas takes on two players. Tries to lay it off to Rafael Leao, making a run on the right-hand side, but he underhits the pass, and I think it would have been a lovely counter-attacking position to be in. Atalanta again losing the ball in the back position is Jimenez here. He has Rafael Leao to his left. He lays it off to number 31 for AC Milan, and he tries to find Jimenez. I think the better pass there was Rafael Leao. Pavlovic in a good position had Rafael Leao to his left, Jimenez to his right. You would think maybe he looks for, Rafael Leao. He had less players on him. And he tries to kind of thread the needle to pass to Jimenez. And, as a center back, doesn't really have that quality to hit that pass. That's a Modric-esque pass if you're looking for that. But no rush for AC Milan at the moment. Are Atalanta in the Champions League? I don't think so. Let me know in the chat, actually. If you know the answer to that. Let me know. Are Atalanta in the Champions League? Oh, bicycle kick here from Atalanta. But he doesn't connect well. Zappacosta with a good attempt right across the face of goal here. But before that, there was a previous athletic attempt from... No, who was that? I think it was the Keteler. Previous athletic bicycle kick attempt. But he couldn't connect properly. And Zappacosta tries to go for the spectacular, but he isn't able to get that. Oh, AC Milan, Atalanta on the attack here, 18-yard box. I was reading chats to kind of get the question from FGH. Almost missed an attack here. Atalanta, lovely ball to number 90. Oh my goodness. You do not ask for the ball in that position only to hit it way over the bar. Way over the crossbar here. Lovely position for, I don't know if he's a striker. I don't think that's Lookman. It's not Lookman. It's number 69, the defender. What's he doing there? But it was a good position nonetheless. Probably should be getting that on target. I'm gonna let him off because he's a defender, but he probably should be getting that on target. It was a good position for Atalanta, who have slowly grown into this game. AC Milan have dropped off a little bit, I think they've got a little bit complacent after scoring the first goal. Atalanta have been getting the better chances as we approach half an hour in this game here. Yes, so to answer the question from FGH, my predictions for the Champions League winners. I mean, this year it's a bit difficult to predict. Yes, they are in the Champions League. Okay, that's the answer to the Atalanta. If Atalanta are in the Champions League question, all right, good to know. But yeah, my prediction for Champions League winners, I mean, so far, things can change as the season goes. I think Real Madrid are starting to look very interesting. And, being a Real Madrid fan, obviously I want Real Madrid to win the Champions League. But I think it's going to be a bit difficult, I think it's going to be a bit difficult for Real Madrid to do it, because I look at teams like Arsenal, I look at teams like Bayern Munich, and we can't forget, the champions PSG. They're still looking very good, They're not making as much waves as they were last season, but they are still looking very good, PSG. So I can't write them off. But I think there are a lot more interesting teams this season. We probably would have mentioned Liverpool if they weren't playing so badly. But I'm thinking Arsenal, Bayern, PSG, and I'm just gonna say Real Madrid because I'm a Madrid fan. So if I had to predict, I'd say between Bayern and Arsenal. As crazy as that might sound, I think the Champions League might be between Bayern and Arsenal. They are the two teams lovely pass here from AC Milan, but it's equally good interception from Hein from Atalanta, and they are in the attack here, Edison. But yeah, I do think the contenders for Champions League this season are Arsenal and Bayern Munich. So unless something changes, so far, from what I've watched so far this season, I think I'll say Arsenal and Bayern because they look the most set. I don't know how Bayern's squad depth is, because if players like, Harry Kane get injured, Michael Olise get injured, Luis Diaz get injured, you're kind of looking at them a little bit suspiciously. Because, again, I don't know how good their squad depth is in terms of players they have on the bench. Ademola Lookman bobbing and weaving into the... Ooh, I thought it was a penalty. Referee points to the spot here, but points to the 18-yard box, and I kind of thought it was a penalty. But Ademola Lookman tries to bob and weave. Okay. He kind of steps on Fikayo Tomori here. Unintentionally from Ademola Lookman here. But as I was saying, I think with the Champions League now, with the Champions League in general, you always need squad depth. I mean, have a look at the Real Madrid team that won the Champions League during Bellingham's debut season. We didn't have a striker, and I think, the Bayern game in the semifinals where Joselu comes off the bench and scores two very big goals. That takes us to the final, so that's squad depth. Players that can come off the bench and play well. And I think, was it the Benzema season? I don't think it was the Benzema season. Jesus Vallejo. I don't remember, but it was a defender. Came on in a really tough match against Manchester City and was clearing balls, as a backup defender. So winning the Champions League is always, if you have a look at the teams that have won the Champions League, they always have very good squad depth. Manchester City, they had very good squad depth, players who could come from the bench and do something. So having very good squad depth is very, pivotal in winning Champions League. The only team I can say didn't really have a lot of squad depth going into the Champions League season and won it was probably the Chelsea team. That era that they had Edouard Mendy in goal. I don't think they had a lot of squad depth on the bench. They were just very, very lucky and, got their way to the finals. So I look at teams like Arsenal, they look set. From front to back, they look set. Bench, clean. Starting 11, clean. It's Bayern where I look at it and think, maybe they don't have that squad depth to go all the way. Because keep in mind, you're going to be playing league games. The league is important for Bayern just as is important for Arsenal. They're going to be playing Carabao Cup. They're going to be playing FA Cup. So it's a lot of games going on. You could get injuries. Imagine if Saka tears his, unfortunately, God forbid, Saka tears his ACL. Arsenal in a bad position. Saliba tears his ACL. Players like Gabriel, Eze, Zubamendi, Declan Rice, these players are very, very important. So once you have a backup that can, play, half as good as the players who are injured or the players who are not available, if you have players on the bench who can play half as good as them, you're good to go. So I think unless something changes, I think Arsenal and Bayern are my top two favorites to make it to the final and win. I can't choose between the two, to be honest, because Bayern are on form, and Arsenal are very good. AC Milan on the attack here. Fofana, if he looks over to his right, he has options, but he loses the ball. He gains the ball back. Is he going to shoot? He is going to shoot. You could see he was setting his body up to shoot, but I think there was a pass to his right that he didn't look at. He didn't really look at. But also as well, Real Madrid are a team that you never really want to write off in the Champions League. They've got that experience. Atalanta on the break here, number 44 for Atalanta over to number 4. I don't know why the defenders are going so high up the pitch. Atalanta have been in a lot of good positions, but when you look at who's holding on to the ball, it's always defenders. It's always defenders. I don't know if that's how their system is meant to be. I mean, he's still up the pitch. Number 4 for Atalanta. He's still on the left wing. I don't know what he's doing there. Zappacosta, Di Ketelaere on the edge of the 18-yard box. Pasalic, Lookman, good position, good shot. Does he score? What a goal. I thought he hit the side netting. Ademola Lookman gets the equalizer for Atalanta, and what a strike. What a strike from the Nigerian. My goodness. Lovely pass from Pasalic. And we've got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a game on our hands. Lovely pass from Pasalic to find Ademola Lookman in a good position. Takes a touch, sets it up onto his left foot. Magnan cannot react in time. Hits that with pure power. Ooh, near post. My goodness, what a strike. Magnan is not getting a touch on that. And AC Milan, Luka Modric head in his hands, and you kind of understand because I think AC Milan after that goal have severely dropped off. I really do think so. I think after AC Milan got that goal, they just dropped off, fell off a cliff, and they're checking. I think Ademola Lookman was onside. I don't know what there is to be checking here, but they are checking. They are checking the validity of the goal. It's a goal. It's a goal. It is a goal. 1-1 Atalanta Milan with 15 minutes to go in the first half. As I said, we've got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, because I think Atalanta, I don't know if it's the substitution from the manager, but Atalanta have definitely gone up a level. They have gone up a level here. And AC Milan, as I said, you will be looking at it a little bit disappointed because I think in the first 10 minutes, they had a lot of leverage in this game. And to see them the way they are at the moment, not being able to go forward is a bit disappointing. Yeah, and they lost the ball again. Let's have a look. Let's just have a look at the players on the bench for AC Milan, who they can bring in, who can change this game. I'm seeing Christopher Nkunku, I'm seeing Loftus-Cheek, I'm seeing Deventa. Not a lot of options for AC Milan. Pulisic is injured, Estupinian is injured, Rabiot is injured. So you look at that AC Milan team and the bench is not even looking that good for them to do anything. Lovely ball to Jimenez here from Luka Modric, I believe. But he can't really get control of that. But he was offside. He was offside. He was offside. He was offside. Ademola Lookman, that goal, brilliant. Was a brilliant goal from Lookman. The offside from Jimenez, a lot closer than you think. A lot closer than you think, actually, from Jimenez. Number 40, number 46 for AC Milan on the ground. Oosh, head clash. A bit of a head clash between those two. A little bit of a head clash going on there. The goal here. Okay, they're showing the outside. I don't know if they're going to show the full goal, but it was a lovely pass from Pasalic. Lovely pass from Pasalic. Lookman literally played it into his path. Lookman just needs to take a touch, and it's a lovely strike. Beautiful strike from Lookman. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. A little bit of a break here as they treat the number 46 for AC Milan. If you have any questions in chat, let me know. Let me know. If you feel a tad bit inquisitive and you want to know some information, let me know. Let me know. I think it's gonna be a drop ball for Atalanta. I think it's gonna be a drop ball. Zlatan Ibrahimovic in the stands. Caleb Bain, what made you start streaming? Tough question. Tough question, Caleb. I mean, not really a tough question. I mean, I just like to talk about football, you know? To be honest, I just like to talk. If you've noticed, if you have noticed, I do like to yap a little bit, you know? I love me a bit of a yap session, you know what I'm saying? Zappacosta, lovely feet here. Can he put a cross into the box? The Ketelaere cannot connect. Oh! Headed ball back to my Maignan from Fofana, and he almost gave it to Charles de Ketelaere in that position, and yeah, but Maignan is onto it. But yeah, to answer the question, what made me start streaming? I just like to talk, and I was like, you know what? I like to talk. I don't really have a lot of people to talk to, so I might as well just start. You know, I might as well just talk online where people might be interested. And at the moment, we have 156 people interested in the stuff that I say. So, hey, here we are. But yeah, my main motivation, or my main, reason to start streaming was I like to talk, and I when I see stuff that's interesting, I like to talk about it. And the interesting stuff for me was football. So, I was just like, hey, I like football. I like to talk. Put two and two together. I was just like, you know what? I might as well just make some videos where I talk about stuff that I'm interested in. And yeah, I did have other, attempts at YouTube channels and like gaming. And I think with those ones, I started it with the mind of I wanted to make it into like a job, in the sense that I wanted to make money off of it, with the gaming and stuff. Ademola Lookman, he's energetic. Ademola Lookman. Zappacosta on the edge of the box here. Can he shoot? He can. But I think it took a deflection. I think it took a deflection off of Luka Modric, and he does admit that it took a deflection off of him. And it's a corner for Atalanta. So yeah, it was basically. So I basically started other YouTube channels, like gaming YouTube channel. This is when I was very young. Like I was very, very young when I started those channels. And it was mainly when Fortnite was going, made Fortnite videos. I made, I can't think of the other videos I made, but it was mainly Fortnite. Mainly Fortnite. I was streaming Fortnite on Twitch. I was streaming Fortnite on YouTube. I was making Fortnite videos. And I did that with the aim of I wanted to make it big, because people like, there are other big Fortnite streamers. So I wanted to make it big. So I did that with that intention, and I think I was expecting it to be a hit, because I think that's what a lot of people who aren't on YouTube look, at YouTube channels and think. They think it's just a start counter attack here for AC Milan, but I think the Atalanta goalkeeper is going to get it. Rafael Leao has been quiet this game. I'm going to be real with you. Rafael Leao has been extremely quiet this game. Very, very, very quiet. He has had some opportunities, but I think it's fair to say he has been very quiet when it comes to his attacking output. But yeah, as I was saying, I didn't see the growth I wanted to see with those gaming YouTube channels. So I kind of stopped. It was like, yeah, I'm not seeing the growth. What's the point of doing it? And I wasn't that interested in, I still play games, FIFA, other stuff, Football Manager, stuff like that. But at that moment, I had the mindset of, I'm trying to do this because I want to make it big, So when I wasn't seeing the results, I was like, there's no reason to continue. So yeah, those channels were deleted. And then I think as I got older, I just got more interested in football, wanted to talk more football, didn't really have a lot of people to talk football with. And I just put two and two together. I was like, you know what? I might as well just start streaming. But I don't think I can call myself a streamer. I think I'll just call myself a content creator, because it's not just streaming we're doing on the channel. We're doing YouTube videos. We're doing, YouTube shorts, stuff like Did You Know, just full on content. So I don't want to, focus mainly on streaming. I mean, I would love to do that, but you would need a community and an audience to make that interesting. So definitely that's something to put on. 2 minutes of added time here as we approach the second half. Milan have been a little bit disappointing as the game is as we're approaching the second half here. AC Milan have been a little bit disappointing. Ever since they got that goal, it has been lackluster for them. But as I say that, they look to be, they're going back again. I was thinking they were going to go for it here, but they've gone back again. But yeah, I do have to, do more videos actually on the channel in relation to football analysis. I wanted to talk about the Vinicius thing that happened. I wanted to talk about what's going on with Liverpool. I wanted to talk about Rafael Leao, I have a whole lot of ideas, but the time as well. Because I do have other stuff I do apart from creating the content for the channel. But I will try my best to make it more consistent. Oof. Lost the ball here. AC Milan, they've lost the ball here. Zappacosta, he's pretty good on the ball, Zappacosta. He's got good ball control. Luka Modric does well to find a pass. Lovely ball here. Salamankis. Can he put a ball into the box? He can. It's a low cross. And it's an underwhelming cross. But Fofana has the opportunity to do something here with seconds to go to the second half. I don't know if AC Milan are going to be able to do anything. They are probing slowly. I don't think AC Milan are looking for the second goal here. And that's the whistle for the first half. First half has come to a close here. Pretty decent first half from AC Milan, and I think a good first half. If you're Atalanta, you're very, hopeful going into the second half, because I think they have taken the game by the scruff of the neck. Atalanta, they've played better. They have been the better team. I think after AC Milan got their first goal, they were a little bit, they were a little bit lackluster. They were kind of just, not taking their opportunities, not taking their chances. So I think if you're Allegri, you're looking at that, and you kind of need to give them a little bit of a kick up the ass for AC Milan so that they can you know get click back into gear, because I think if they don't, Atalanta are going closer and closer to go. They definitely are. Definitely are. But as we are in the halftime, let's have a look at the statistics. The statistics of the game. Atalanta, the better team at the moment. 0.62 XG. I mean, a 0.04 XG for AC Milan is very disappointing. And I think it backs up the fact that I've been saying that they've not looked good in the game so far. A 0.04 XG for AC Milan is going to be disappointing. As especially given the start they had to the game. 0.62 XG for Atalanta. They're leading on almost everything. They're leading on shots on target, leading on big chances, leading on accurate passes, leading on possession, leading on corners. They are dominating the game, Atalanta. And as I said, with the quality of players AC Milan have, you would expect them to be doing better. But then again, they dropped points to a team that was bottom of the table. So, it's a bit, they're having an underwhelming season. I would say that, but it's still early on. But you wanna be up there with the best. I mean, we watched the Atalanta versus Inter Milan, not Atalanta, Napoli versus Inter Milan game. It was good. It was very good. And if you're looking at quality of players, you'd say maybe Inter Milan had a better quality players. And I mean, I keep saying Atalanta. Napoli were also handicapped with Kevin De Bruyne going off in the early stages of the game. So you look at that, and these are the teams you're competing with, AC Milan, and you would want to get an upper hand on them. You would want to be performing as well as they're performing. You would want to be up there with them, mixing it up with them. Because if I have a look at the table here, Napoli are top of the league with 21 points. Roma is second with 18. I don't think Roma are that much of a competition for Atalanta. Atalanta again. I don't know why they're on my mind at the moment. I mean, maybe because we're doing a watch along, but yeah, you'd be thinking, Roma are not a threat to Napoli at the moment. Milan, with the way they're playing, they're not a threat. Inter Milan, Napoli have faced them and they've gotten 3 points off of them. Bologna, I don't think they're really going to be a threat. Como as well. Maybe Como could be the underdogs, but I don't think they're going to be a threat for the title. Atalanta, they look good, but I don't know if they're going to go all the way. Juventus as well. With the way they're playing, they haven't won in their last 5 games. I don't think they're a threat for Napoli at the moment. So you look at the league and you're thinking, are Napoli going to run away with it? Are Napoli going to be league title holders by Christmas? And with the way the teams are playing, as we've watched so far this season, with the way the teams are playing, the Roma, the Inter Milans, not Inter Milan. I think Inter Milan played well against Napoli. Napoli were just a better team on the day. I think with teams like AC Milan, Juventus, a Roma, you'd be expecting a little bit more from them. And I think I have been disappointed. I have been disappointed from those 3, Roma, AC Milan, and Juventus. We've watched all 3, and I think they have been severely disappointed. Severely disappointed. If you've got some questions in chats, let me know so that we can answer them. To provide some conversation. I'm trying to look at which next Serie A match we could be watching. The next Serie A match on the table that we could be watching. Juventus Udinese, not interesting enough. Inter Fiorentina, I don't think they're interesting enough. Napoli Como, ooh, that's interesting. Napoli Como, I think will be very interesting. I think that's going to be an interesting match. Napoli Como. Obviously, no Champions League football. This um no Champions League football this Tuesday, Wednesday. Obviously, I mean, as we're watching the game today, it's obviously not going to be a Champions League football game. Yeah, uh, trying to see. Has the game gone the way I'd expected? I don't know what I didn't really expect much going into the game because I hadn't watched Atalanta play. So I didn't have a lot of expectations going into the game. If I had watched Atalanta play, I would have had, a certain type of expectation. But because I hadn't watched Atalanta play, I only watched AC Milan. I didn't have a lot of expectation. But I was thinking AC Milan were going to give Atalanta a game, which hasn't been the case. It hasn't been the case so far. Yeah. So the expectations going into this match were not on the high. You know what I'm saying? Yep, they were not really high going into this game because I hadn't watched I didn't watch Atalanta going into this game. FGH with a lot of good questions here. How do you usually prepare before going live? Uh, what a question. How do I answer this? I guess I, just set up everything, get the details and stuff ready. Um, you know, stuff like um stuff like the thumbnail, stuff like the scoreboard, the timer, the lineups, any other thing I'm trying to include into stream. I try and drink a lot of water as well, because I'll be talking for a while, an hour plus. So I try and do that as well, try and have a little bit of water. I have a fruit juice today actually. No water. A mix, fruit mix, fruit juice today. So yeah, just a sort of hydration going into the stream because I know I'm gonna be talking for a while. The lips might get a little bit dry. You gotta get that stuff ready. But yeah, before I go live, it's just a mental thing. Just get my information about the teams I need to get information about. If there's any injuries I need to know about, if there's any big news, if there's any big thing that was said, maybe like the Lamine Yamal stuff that happened with the Clasico, those kind of stuffs, just gotta get those information out of the way. That's how one prepares for a stream. That's what we'll be doing. FGH, keep the questions coming. Loving the interactions. Absolutely loving the interactions. Oh my goodness. Keep the questions coming. And if you are new to the channel, if you're a viewer, you're watching, you're new to the channel, you love what you see, you love what you hear, you love the interaction, you love the content, you love what you're seeing, you love the content you're seeing under the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. It's hefty. It's a big goal, but I know y'all can do it. I know y'all can do it. It's a massive goal. But yeah, I do believe in y'all. I believe in y'all to do that. I do. I do. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Caleb Bain is asking if I'm an anime watcher. I am. I was about to say of course. It's not an of course thing, you know. You could, you know, it's not necessary to watch anime, but I do. I do. I do be watching. I do be watching some anime. I do be watching some anime. That's good. You know, it's a good you know, pastime. Something to do. What anime am I on? At the moment, I I don't like weekly releases. You know, I'm not a fan. I'm not the biggest fan of weekly releases. It could be because I'm not patient. I'm not a patient individual. So I'm not a fan of weekly releases where, you know, I'm going to have to watch an episode this weekend and then I have to wait for the next weekend to watch it. I'm like, it's a bit, you know, it's a bit some type of way. So I'm not a weekly releases type of person. I like my shows to be available at the time I want to watch them. If I want to watch a show right now, I want the show to be available in full right now. Or at least if it's a weekly release, like, okay, so I'm gonna get on a little bit of a tangent here. So I'm currently watching One Piece. I'm caught up with One Piece, you know. I'm on episode 1133, I believe. Yeah, 1133. So with that, changes for AC Milan here. And Kunku is on. A bit of a weird substitution. I don't think he played that well the last time we saw him come on, but things do change. But as I was saying, I'm on One Piece at the moment, and you know, with One Piece, I can watch it, you know, because from where I am to where they are, it's gonna take me a little bit of time, you know. So I can actually, you know, watch some episodes because I have like what 7 at the moment. I can't really continue watching because they are, you know, if I keep watching, I'm gonna be caught up and I'm gonna have to wait a week and stuff like that. So at the moment, I am watching One Piece, but I've paused because if I keep watching, I'm gonna catch up to where they are at the moment, and then I'm gonna have to wait weekly for the episodes to come out, which I don't want to do. So I'm waiting for My Hero Academia to complete, and then I can watch it in its entirety. My Hero Academia, Dan is, I think Dan is complete. I should probably watch that actually. To be honest, thank you for that, Khalid. You've got me on some anime to watch. I should probably watch Dan. This, I think that's Rafael Leao, number 10 for AC Milan, is going off for Nkunku. I think that's Rafael Leao going off. I might be wrong here. Let me just confirm. It is Rafael Leao. Big change. Big change for AC Milan. Rafael Leao off for Christopher Nkunku as we get into the second half. That's a massive change. That's a massive change. It's a big change because I think it's a necessary change because Rafael Leao was very quiet in the first half for AC Milan. So I think it's a big change, but it's a necessary change for Allegri because I think he needs to get control of this game. He needs to get a hold of this game. But yeah, as we are in the second half, if you are new to the channel, if you're watching and you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I appreciate your support. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Trying to reach that by the end of the year. And I would appreciate if we can hit that. I would be ecstatic if we can hit that. I would be ecstatic. Keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. I appreciate the conversation. It's been enjoyable so far. Cross into the box for AC Milan. A very speculative attempted shot by Jimenez here. Tries to go for the dramatic bicycle kick. And can't get anything from it. Um mm, 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 mm. Atalanta, Di Ketelaere. It's not Di Ketelaere. Number 44 for Atalanta. They're passing the ball at the back. Slowly but surely. Grimsby are getting their backsides handed to them on a plate here. 3-0. Brentford versus Grimsby. Which should have been the case when it was Grimsby versus Manchester United. Pasalic in a good position. He can lay it off to Lookman, but he doesn't. He goes over to the right-hand side. A good cross into the box here for Atalanta could be good, but it's a bit too close to Magnan. In goal. Tomori is down for Atalanta. For AC Milan, not for Atalanta. Goes for the tackle, and I think he is. I think he has twisted his knee here, trying to go for a tackle. Went for the tackle there and didn't really position his knee well. And there might be a bit of a twist here. Might be a bit of a twist here. A twist in the knee, I mean to say. Keep the questions coming in. Rafael Leao is on the bench. He doesn't look happy. And, why would you be? Why would you be happy if you're Rafael Leao on the bench? At the moment, he's not looking great. In terms of performance, he's not looking great at all. AC Milan might be looking at a sub here, but Tomori is up. Tomori is up. He's going over to the sidelines because he's injured. He has injured himself. Fikayo Tomori. He has injured himself, but I think he's on. He's on. He's jogging his way back on. Another lovely question from Bain here. Um, if you could sign, if you could sign one player right now for Milan, who would it be? Wow, tough question. Tough question. I mean, from what I've seen so far at the AC Milan, one player. That's a tough question. That's a tough question, Bain. That's a tough question. One player for Milan right now. I think they need. The funny thing is, Rafael Leao at his best is what I think Milan need. I think they need a winger I was gonna say Lookman would be good for them, but I don't think Lookman is that dynamic. So, okay, I'm gonna give you one unrealistic signing that I would make if I was the manager of AC Milan, and I'm gonna give you a realistic signing that I would make. So, one unrealistic signing I would make if I was AC Milan, if I was the manager of AC Milan, or unrealistic signing I would make is probably Vinicius Jr. Either Vinicius Jr., Luis Diaz, or I was gonna say Lamine Yamal, but I mean Lamine Yamal is just Desiree Doué, Vinicius Jr., and Luis Diaz. One of those three players. If I'm going for an unrealistic signing. Now a realistic signing, I would do if I was the AC Milan manager at the moment. Probably, I mean, who's a realistic winger that could go to AC Milan and absolutely cook for them? I mean, wow, it's very difficult because most of the players that I would mention are already in big clubs and they're playing well for them. So, I mean, Bain has got me he's got me thinking here. He's got me thinking here. Mignon, I mean, playing a bit of a dangerous game here, trying to pass the ball out from the back. This is not me dodging the question, by the way. I'm still thinking about it. But it has been a bit of a slow start in the first half. Sorry, second half here. I'm really trying to think of a realistic. Oh, lovely ball play from Salamancers for fucking Kunku. Come on, in Kunku. He was in a great position there. A little bit of a flick, and he has gotten that ball through to Jimenez. It's Ademola Lookman on the left-hand side over to De Ketelaere. Lookman, lovely switch to De Ketelaere. The referee is not blowing for the penalty here as De Ketelaere goes down. AC Milan again. How was that a foul? A referee calls a foul for AC Milan in a weird position. And you kind of be asking yourself a question as to how that was a foul. But back to the question from Caleb Bain on which player I would sign right now if I was the Milan manager. I would say a dynamic winger. I think that's what, or a dynamic forward. It doesn't have to be a winger. It could be an attacking midfielder. Nico Paz. Yeah, Nico Paz. I think Nico Paz could do a very good job in an AC Milan shirt, and I think he can add that dynamism that I think AC Milan lack. I think Leao at his best would have been very good in this game here because I think AC Milan are lacking that. They're lacking that player who can take on Salamancers is doing that very well on the right hand side, but I don't think he's good enough to do that and get into the box. You need someone who can do that and get into the box. So if I had to sign a player right now for AC Milan that was realistic, I'd probably say Nico Paz. I think Nico Paz could do that role well, and he's a realistic signing. But yeah, good question. Good question from Caleb. Had me thinking. Had my gears turning. Still a bit slow for AC Milan here. Still a bit slow. Really, really slow here. I've got one more. Sure, Caleb. Keep them coming. Keep the questions coming. I like it. Makes the stream more interesting because AC Milan aren't providing that entertainment. Atalanta are the only ones doing that at the moment. So if y'all can provide the entertainment, I'd gladly accept that. Gladly. And I would also entertain you as well with my answers. Uh, Atalanta. Lookman here. They're just probing. Slowly, slowly probing. Atalanta. Lookman. Goes past one. Goes past two. Oof. Great defending from the Milan defender, not midfielder. Lookman, I mean, he's slowly he's heating up. He's heating up, Ademola Lookman. He is heating up. Foul for foul for AC Milan. Modric. Modric has been very overshadowed here by how bad AC Milan are playing. I'm sure Modric is playing well, but given how bad AC Milan are playing, you probably wouldn't know. You probably would not know that Modric has been playing. Atalanta on the attack here. Number 44 loses the ball. AC Milan trying to get something. They're very pragmatic, AC Milan. Looks like anytime they have the chance to go forward, they always try to find a way to go back. Oh, oh, Jimenez tries to keep the ball. That's a foul. AC Milan try to. Oh, Atalanta on the break here. Lookman, it's a 1v2 situation. Lookman, he should have probably gone. He should have probably gone on his own. He tries to find a pass. He should have probably gone on his own to try and take that player on. He should have probably gone on his own. The corner for Atalanta here. Can they cook something? Can they cook something? A cross coming into the box here. Ooh. Decent cross, but no one really to get a hit on it. Save from Magnon. AC Milan still lacking that threat. I don't look at them and think, they've got some good cross into the box from AC Milan as I'm talking about them not having threats. But the cross into the box is still not good. It's still not good. Menez is down for AC Milan with half an hour to go. Doesn't look he doesn't look to be writhing in pain, but It might be a little bit of time being taken here. Loftus-Cheek is coming on. Loftus-Cheek is coming on. Not a lot of bench options for AC Milan as well. So it's not, it's not really looking that good for them. Not a lot of bench options. Jimenez has been taken off for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. That's a striker for a midfielder. So I don't know what the plan is for AC Milan here, but a striker has gone off for a midfielder. Number 46 for AC Milan is going up top. Or he's not going up top, sorry. My bad. But I don't know who's going up top for Milan. I think it's Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek is playing up top. Wow. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Fofana, lovely ball to number 56. Is he going to shoot? What was that? What was that? Salamanders. Golden opportunity. He should have gone. Oh my goodness me. The lack of dynamism from AC Milan is disappointing to watch. If that was a Vinicius Jr., if that was a Desiree Doué, it's probably 2-1 to AC Milan. Now, if you're Allegri, you're very disappointed. Tomori making a run down the right-hand side. Can he find a pass? He does find a pass to Loftus-Cheek, but I think he's offside. He wasn't offside. It was a goal kick. But that move from Salamanders, basically one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He literally just had another player, a defender, running over to his right-hand side, and he decides to make a weird pass over to the left-hand side, and it's like very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Bain out here with another banger question. If Florian Wirtz just broke your club's record fee, would you build a team around him or protect him from the pressure? Very good question, actually. Very good question. I was having this conversation with someone, actually, I think after the Liverpool-Brentford game, I was having this conversation with someone. Why? No, it wasn't a Liverpool-Brentford game. I think it was a game where Florian Wirtz didn't start. One of the Premier League games where Florian Wirtz didn't start. And I had this conversation where I was like, you don't spend the money Liverpool have spent on Florian Wirtz and bench him. You don't spend that. Oh, wow, lovely nutmeg from Salamanders. But Atalanta in the attack here, Ademola Lookman. Is that a free kick? It's not a free kick. All right. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was basically telling my friend that you don't spend the money you've spent on Florian Wirtz to put him on the bench. And obviously, it's going to take a while for Wirtz to get used to the Premier League. Good cross into the box from AC Milan. I'm sorry, AC Milan. I don't think you guys deserve to get anything from this game. They're getting better. It was a lovely cross into the box. Loftus-Cheek with a beautiful header. They're showing the replay now. Good cross into the box. Loftus-Cheek with the header. And Kunku is just standing there. He looks stuck. He's just standing there, not able to do anything, not able to react. And Kosunu just comes to, stand in front of him. That's disappointing. It seems they've had 2 golden opportunities here, and they have basically thrown them away. I think Loftus-Cheek has improved AC Milan's game since he's come on. He's brought on that energy I think they were lacking. And he draws a foul here in a good position. If Modric can put a cross into a box here and get someone on the end of it, it could be good for AC Milan. Yeah, Loftus-Cheek has brought on that energy for the Milan side. But as I was saying with Florian Wirtz before they take this free kick. So the question Bain is asking is, if you spent... Okay, so in Liverpool's case, they haven't spent the club's record fee on Florian Wirtz, but it's still a lot of money. So if I was someone who has spent my club's record fee on Florian Wirtz, definitely I'm building the team around him. And I think that's also the issue Liverpool have at the moment. The type of player Florian Wirtz is not someone, as I said, you put on the bench. He's not someone who's going to come into the game, good cross from Modric, doesn't go far, and it's a corner for AC Milan. But as I was saying, the type of player Florian Wirtz is, he's not a player that's going to come off the bench and do something. He's not that type of player, and he's a confidence player. When the funny thing with Wirtz is when he builds his confidence, when he gets that confidence, he's going to be a good player. Ball to the edge of the box, same situation as the first goal, but it's blocked this time around by the Atalanta defender. And Loftus-Cheek has definitely taken this AC Milan side up a level since he's come on. He's been at the center of a lot of dangerous opportunities for the AC Milan side. That's a good sub. That's a good sub from Allegri. And I think if Milan are going to score a goal, I think he's going to be at the end of it. Good cross into the box. Nkunku finds Modric. Modric over to Nkunku. What can he do? He can put a cross in. Tomori. Good attempt. Fofana, sorry. I always confuse Fofana and Tomori. They've got almost similar hairstyles. And they look pretty similar. Fofana with a volley. With a good cross from Nkunku, actually. Ooh, Fofana. They're getting closer, AC Milan. I think Atalanta have caught the AC Milan syndrome and have also dropped off in the second half. But yes, as I was saying with Florian Wirtz, I keep getting cut off. But it's good, it's good. It means stuff is happening in the game. But as I was saying with with Florian Wirtz, he's the type of player that is a confidence player. If you looked at him in Leverkusen, he knew he was running that midfield. He knew he was the main player in that Leverkusen side that was doing a lot for them. And he had that confidence. And same thing with Germany, in the Germany side. He knew, Nkunku, shoot the ball. Shoot. Have the confidence to shoot. Every time an AC Milan player gets in a good position, they're always looking to pass the ball. Nkunku, great position there. On the turn, decides to pass in the 18-yard box. Shoot. You're right in the center of goal. Shoot. They're getting closer. They're knocking on the door, AC Milan, but they need that player that has that confidence to try and get a goal. Loftus-Cheek is definitely taking this team up a level. Definitely. Salamanca's lovely ball to Fofana. Finds Nkunku. Goes over to the right-hand side. Nkunku, he's not going to shoot from there, is he? He's not. Finds Luka Modric. Luka Modric misses the pass. He misses the pass, and Atalanta on the attack here. Number 44, he's not having that pace. He can't reach there. He can't. He cannot. Again, keep getting cut off with Florian Wirtz. But as I was saying, he's a confidence player. Wirtz is a confidence player, and if you watch him in Liverpool, he looks timid. He looks shy. He looks like a player that's lacking that confidence from either the players around him or the manager. Maybe the manager is not trusting him to do what he normally does at Leverkusen and at Germany, and you can see he lacks that confidence. He looked better against Frankfurt, but in the Brentford game, he was okay. He's a good player. I don't think Florian Wirtz is a bad player. I do think Florian Wirtz is a very good player, very technically gifted player, very high IQ, high football IQ player. He's a good player, but I think he's lacking that confidence because he doesn't feel like he is the main man at Liverpool, which I think should have been the case. I think, Liverpool should have bought him, or if Liverpool were going to buy him, they should have built the team around him, because I think that's the type of player Florian Wirtz is. Atalanta making two more substitutions, Jim City and Bellanova coming in. So yeah, that's my thing with Florian Wirtz. The type of player he is, he shouldn't be a player that should be one sitting on the bench, and two be a backup to someone in the first team. No matter how good that player in the first team is, you don't spend that money on Florian Wirtz, and you don't bring that character and that personality of a player to your team and put him on the bench. That's just me though. That's just me though. So definitely, if to answer the question Bain put in the chat, if I had broken my club's record fee to get Florian Wirtz, I'm definitely building a team around him and letting him know, the rest of the team is gonna be built and centered around you. So just do you in the team, and then the rest of the team is gonna help you out. And I think that's one thing Liverpool lacked. Oof. And that's one thing that Liverpool lacked, I think, going into the transfer of Florian Wirtz. And I think it's almost the same thing with Isak. To be honest, I don't think Liverpool needed Isak. Ekitike was scoring goals before Isak came in, and he's still scoring goals as Isak is there. I really don't think they needed Isak. And that money spent on Isak could have gotten Gehi, could have gotten another, defensive midfielder, could have gotten, it could have gotten some other players as well. So I'm not in full, agreement with some of the signings. And Frimpong, I mean, Jeremy Frimpong, I feel so sorry for him. I really do. He would have been better off staying in Leverkusen or going to a team where he's a guaranteed starter. Because look at Kerkez starting every game, and Frimpong has to come off the bench. Come off the bench for Connor Bradley. He's injured now, unfortunately, but it's still, that type of thing. Atalanta here, still probing. Both teams are knocking on the door here. Atalanta, I think, have been a little bit unlucky with the referee calls. He has called a lot of fouls against them. But I think Milan have grown into the game, and Atalanta, they're starting to get back to their form that they had at the end of the first half. Keep the questions coming. If you are new to the channel, if you're watching and you're new to the channel and you enjoy the content that you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button and support the channel. I do appreciate it. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And if we can hit that before the year comes to an end, I would be ever so grateful. Atalanta passing the ball around. They're not finding it easy. They're not finding it easy. AC Milan slowly building. All over the top for AC Milan. It's not enough. Oh, it's okay. Foul for Atalanta. The referee is frustrating both teams. It's not just Atalanta. He's frustrating both teams. Oh my God. They are still probing. They are still probing. Atalanta? AC Milan on the attack here. Loftus Cheek, lovely ball to Nkunku, but he is kind of overhit a little bit. Salamancas, he's good on the ball, technically. He's always good on the ball technically. Goes past 1-2 players and then always underhits passes. De Ketelaere over to Pasalic. Lovely movement, Pasalic. That's a foul. That's a yellow card. Luka Modric. Professional foul from Luka Modric. Yeah, he had to make that because Pasalic was looking dangerous. He's looking like Atalanta's best player at the moment, Pasalic. Their captain as well. That's how you want your captain to be playing. A draw. I mean, I've not even considered what a draw would mean in this game for both teams. Let me see. A draw at the moment keeps AC Milan at third and keeps Atalanta at seventh. So I think both of them maintain their position going into this game. That's a foul. That's not a foul. Okay, I mean, I guess it's not a foul for Atalanta. Thought it was gonna be a foul. I feel like a goal is coming. I do think so. I do think a goal is coming because I'm looking at both teams and they are knocking at the door. Although they're not knocking loudly, but they are attempting to knock at the door. So it is a process. I do think a goal would be on the way. Sorry FGH, I haven't even acknowledged your question. Who do I think is Madrid's next big signing? Oh wow, y'all are hitting me with some hard questions here. Number 4 for AC Milan stumbled at the edge of the box. Throw in. What do I think is going to be Madrid's next big signing? I mean, as a Madrid fan, what do I? Wow, I think it's a tough question because at the moment, which position are we lacking? I'd say maybe center back. Asensio. I don't know if Asensio is good enough to be. I don't know if he's good enough to be a long-term backup. Lovely flip from Loftus Cheek, and Kunku overhits the pass to Loftus Cheek. If he played that well, wow. I mean, Loftus Cheek is clearly raised the levels of this game. It's not a foul. Wow, you would think that was a foul on Salamancas. Shirt pull, but it's not. 10 minutes to go here. Both teams are definitely knocking on the door. Zappacosta, it's not Zappacosta. Someone from Atalanta on the right-hand side. Cross into the box, not a good cross. Tomori clears it. They're going to go again, Atalanta. Building out from the back. Hein. Over to Zappacosta now. Okay, Zappacosta has switched wings. I'll come back to your question, FGH. Lookman on the left-hand side gets a corner. So who I think is going to be Madrid's next big signing, I think it's... I really don't know, to be honest. I was going to say it's going to be a Rodrigo replacement. Like, we're going to sell Rodrigo next season and get a replacement for him. But I think Mastantuono is already there. So I think Madrid's next big signing is going to be a backup player. Like a player that's going to come from the bench. I don't think it's going to be a starter. Good cross into the box from Atalanta. Good header, but it is wide. Slightly wide. But yeah, I think Madrid's next big signing is going to be a backup player. Obviously a talented backup player. Could be a left back. Maybe. Actually, I'm trying to think. No, not a left back. A right back. Maybe a right back and a left back. Fullbacks, maybe. To sort out the defensive squad depth. Because I think defensively, we've got Rudiger, we've got Militao, we've got Hudson, we've got Asensio. Alaba is definitely not a long-term player. Changes for Atalanta here. Yunus Musa and Marsditch. I think it's Marsditch, his name is. I don't remember his name, but Yunus Musa, midfielder coming on. Pasalic is going off, so I think that's fresh legs kind of change. Fresh legs change for Atalanta. They've used all their subs now. Milan still have 3 subs available, but I would not be expecting them to use it because they've got no one. They've got no one on the bench. But yeah, in terms of Madrid's next big signing, I don't think it's gonna be a big signing. I think their next signing is gonna be a player that's gonna be a backup and potentially has the potential to make it to the first team. That's what I'm thinking is gonna be the next signing for Real Madrid. Because I don't think there's any position right now we really need. You know, we're sorted at left back with Carreras. Trent is gonna get better, I think, and he's gonna be a really good player. Oh, Atalanta lost the ball in a bad position here in Kunku. Over to Gabia. Over to Modric. He's got Fofana as his options. He doesn't use it. AC Milan holding the ball here with 6 minutes to go. Sorry, 8 minutes to go. Less than 10 minutes to go. Lovely ball to Salamancas. That's Salamancas? It's not. Interception from Lookman. Gabia, the defender. You wouldn't know he's a defender the way he's moving. Modric. Again, so interesting to see Modric playing that Toni Kroos role at AC Milan. Very interesting. Such a good player, Luka Modric. He's definitely going to be a man of the match contender for AC Milan. I think Loftus-Cheek is definitely one of the good flick from Nkunku. What is Nkunku doing? My goodness me. My goodness. AC Milan are missing Rafael Leao at his best. I know he got subbed off, but Rafael Leao at his best, I think this is probably 3-1 to AC Milan. There have been so many opportunities here for AC Milan to go forward. But that you know, attacking directness, that lack of attacking directness from a player like Christopher Nkunku is hurting them a lot. He has got himself in so many good positions, but because he lacks that, you know, attacking directness someone like a Vinicius would have, or a prime Rafael Leao would have, he's just, you know, he's just lacking. Not slacking, lacking. Yeah. But we're approaching the end of this game here. 6 minutes to go. I think there'll be a little bit of chunky added time here, because I think there has been... Oh, Zappacosta. He's running through here. He's got options to his right. What a hit! And it's a lovely save from Magnan. He went for it, and it was a good hit. It was a good hit from Zappacosta. He had options to his left. Fikayo Tomori, I think, was the one who went in for the tackle, or Fofana. And he forced a big save from Magnan. Forced a big save. As I said, both teams are knocking. Both teams are knocking on the door. Good cross into the box. Zappacosta again. Ooh, close. Close. Volley, edge of the box. Very close for Zappacosta. It was Fofana. Tried to get the tackle. Didn't hit it well. Sorry, didn't connect well with the tackle. And Zappacosta has to force a massive save from Mignon. Was very close. Very close. 5 minutes to go of normal time. As I said, I think there will be a bit of a chunky added time because I think there have been a lot of stoppages. Lookman, good control, good control. He still got it. Can you find a pass? He's still going forward. This is what AC Milan are lacking. That directness from Lookman right now, just now, the directness from Lookman is what AC Milan are lacking. Did very well to find that pass. Oh, Atalanta again, lovely interception. Lovely pass over the top. He's got options. Yunus Musa is there. Number 10 for Atalanta puts the ball into the box, and it's Mardic with the interception. Loftus-Cheek. Good physicality on Loftus-Cheek, and it's a bad pass. Again. The lack of directness from AC Milan is thoroughly affecting them. Ademola Lookman again, lovely dribble. Cross into the box. There's no one there. There is no one there. There's no one there to attack him. Richie for AC Milan. Most distance covered on the field. Doesn't win you trophies. Covering distance on the field, it doesn't win you trophies. You might be surprised to learn that. You might be. I think Yunus Musa was an AC Milan player at some point as well. Here he is on the ball, Yunus Musa. Good ball over to the right-hand side. I don't know who that is. Edison. Finding Zappacosta here on the left-hand side. Over to Ademola Lookman. Oh, lovely ball into the box. Good turn. Finds a pass. Musa. It's they're getting close. They're getting close. It's a corner. It's a corner. Lovely pass from, who was it? I think number 19 for Atalanta. Zappacosta. Ademola Lookman again. What a ball into the box. Their number 19 puts a good cross in, and Yunus Musa gets on it. And he forces a corner. He forces a corner. With 2 minutes to go, AC Milan are making a change here. And it's turn. Let me see the name at the back of your shirt, my boy. Yunus Musa, lovely ball to him. I don't think the pass was for him, to be honest. I don't think the pass was his. Oh, ball bouncing around in the Milan 18-yard box. And it was a foul on Mike Mignon. A little bit of chaos going on in the AC Milan box, but oh, I don't even think it was the Atalanta player that had a touch on it. I don't think it was the Atalanta. Salamancas has been taken off. Yeah, I think this sub should have come a little bit earlier than it did. I don't know who he's been taken off for. Atekame, don't know who that is. I have no idea who that is. Not even gonna lie to you guys. I have no idea who that is. A minute to go of normal time. Both teams, Atalanta more than AC Milan, knocking on the door here. If you had to place a bet on who was gonna get the win here, I would probably lean more on Atalanta. But as I say that, nothing happens. As I say that, nothing happens with AC Milan. Loftus-Cheek with a good interception, but nothing happens. Ederson, ball over the top. Can he find someone? He can't. But Yunus Musa, he's brought on that energy to the Atalanta midfield. Tries to leave it for Lookman. He can't. 5 minutes of added time. That's a bit of time left for Atalanta to get something here. Yunus Musa to Zappacosta. Can you find someone? Lovely cross into the box. But no one can get on the end of it. It was a good cross. Acknowledged by... Who's their number 10? Acknowledged by Smarsditch. Smart Zich. Smart Zich? Smart Zich. I think it's Smart Zich. Lazar Smart Zich. They're number 10. Atalanta are definitely knocking on the door. You'd expect Lookman here with the intense press. He's applying that press there. All over the top. From Magnan, doesn't get there. Number 44. Brescianini. Jesus Christ. Italian names, man. Pretty difficult to pronounce. Oh, lovely interception here from Kasunu. Can he find a pass? He can. Atalanta in a good position. Can he also find a pass, number 44? He can't. A little bit hesitant. And now AC Milan again. Their passes are so weak, AC Milan. I feel like I'm supporting AC Milan here, but I'm just so disappointed with how weak their passes are. Here's Zappacosta. He can't find Lookman. Pass a little bit too heavy from Zappacosta. I think AC Milan, you look at this game and the amount of opportunities they have had to make quality progressive passes, they're either always under hitting or over hitting a pass, which is very disappointing. Very disappointing. You know, Modric is probably looking at that thinking, if that was me, I'd probably get an assist by now. But Modric also can't risk going forward because Atalanta are attacking them very well. You know, up against Pisa, he can risk going forward because Pisa is not as good as Atalanta. Yeah, because I can see now Modric is deep in the midfield role for AC Milan, and it's understandable because he can't go forward. Ademola Lookman on the left-hand side. Can he go past one? He can't. Yellow card for number 46 for AC Milan. Lookman winning a free kick. Oh, harsh tackle. Harsh tackle. He had to jump. He had to jump out of that. He had to jump out of that. Lookman. Again, as I said, oh, it's number 4. No, it's 46. Okay. 46 is Gabia for AC Milan. 2 minutes of added time to go. Can Atalanta pull off a madness here? Cross into the box. A good cross. A player is down in the AC Milan penalty box, but I think the referee is calling for a corner because the cross was headed away by Fofana. Smarjic is the one taking the free kick. Ooh, it's a body check. I don't think it's going to be a penalty here. It's a body check on Hein. Smarjic, can he deliver a sweet one into the box for someone to get your head on? Good cross. Doesn't beat the first man. Zappacosta tries to get it. Yunus Musa is there. Can he go? Can he be progressive? He can't. Seconds, literally seconds to go in the game. 20 seconds to go. Can Atalanta get this ball past the halfway line and cook something? Lovely forward pass from Kasunu. Bellanova gets away. It's a throw-in for AC Milan. And I think that's going to be it for Atalanta's chances here. Brescianini is holding his leg. I think he's got a cramp. He's got a cramp on his calf. But I think that throw-in is probably going to be the last touch of the game. Rafael Leao would be disappointed being taken off at halftime because I think a fit, ready to go Rafael Leao probably would have done more for AC Milan in this game. And, that's something you need to look at. That's something you definitely need to look at. But I think stats wise, let's have a look at the stats as the game is coming to an end here. I think stats wise, it has gotten a little bit balanced, and that's the game. A draw here for Atalanta, I would say. I was gonna say a draw for AC Milan, but I think it's more for a draw for Atalanta because I think they did more to try and get a win here as compared to AC Milan. But yeah, it's gonna be a disappointing result for Atalanta because I think they would have wanted to get a win based on how they played so far in the game, and I think the stats favor them as well. I think if after the game, looking at the stats, they're gonna be a bit disappointed. They dominated on XG, dominated on possession, dominated on shots on target, chances created, passes. They were the better team. But unfortunately, they weren't able to get the 3 points in this game. And if you're AC Milan, you're looking forward to your next games. I mean, let's have a look at AC Milan's next games before we wrap things up. They have Roma. I mean, two teams that I'm not that impressed with this season. It will probably tune into that. AC Milan versus Roma. They've got Inter coming up. So some pretty tough games. Some pretty tough games for AC Milan. They definitely do need to improve going forward. And if you're Rafael Leao, you need to get back to your best because I think AC Milan are missing that dynamism. But thank you for tuning in. It's been a wonderful stream. Appreciated all the questions. FGH, Khaled Bain. Appreciate all the support. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there.